everybody was a lorry load of interesting cheeses.
Hello, it's me again. I just wanted to do a quick video to talk about my first experiences in Legion. So far, and I think it's quite obvious because everyone's saying the same, my first experiences have been really good. It's difficult to say whether it's a better expansion than expansions in the past because usually expansions are amazing at the start, and then as you start to run out of content, that's when people start complaining and realising that it might not be as good as they thought. But so far there's a few features that have really sort of won in this expansion, and I'd just like to go through a few of those. The first one of these is scaling, which has really been sort of the defining feature of leveling in Legion. The new scaling technology means that you can actually finish the zones now instead of just moving on because it's more efficient, which means that you're more engaged in the story and you experience it all and not just skip it in order to get more experience. It also allows you to choose the zone that you want to go to, so you have more say in how you want to experience the content, and also it's more challenging because all the mobs are scaling to your level, so you have to actually think about how you're going to fight them, which just makes it more fun. The new tagging system is also great. It's something that should have really been in for a while now. For those of you who don't know, it's a new system that lets multiple people tag normal mobs out in the world, which means that you're not blocked out of killing things for quests, and it just leads to more cooperation and less needless competition. The pace of leveling is a bit slower, which is actually a good thing because it's not just artificially spanned out, it's all filled with content, and leveling now feels more of a component of the game rather than just a barrier before endgame. I also really like the way that individual classes have their own individual story because it gives loads of replayability, and all the story that you go through really adds to the immersion. You also have way more incentives to level now, which makes the game so much more addictive. One major incentive to keep playing is your artifact weapon. Unlocking the new traits is really more-ish because each time you unlock one it's a massive boost to power, and you know that you can just keep doing it and it's going to keep going over the long term. I think knowing that there's going to be so much to do at endgame really helps as well. If you talk about Warlords as an expansion, it had such a short tail. You get to the end game and you'd know you'd just have the raid, or you'd have to do these repetitive dailies for Apexis crystals. In Legion, you know you have all these things waiting for you, like the world quests or Suramar or upgrading your artifact weapon, and then there's the raids on top of that, plus these mythic plus dungeons. And on top of that, you know it's way more interesting to level up and gear your alts now. So I'm going to get deep now and psychoanalytical and just talk about the underlying reason why everyone's so happy about Legion. I think a lot of us MMO players love the thought of who they could be in the future, and they get a lot of enjoyment from that rather than getting enjoyment from just living in the moment. So by Blizzard adding to the tale of Legion, and by that I mean the end game, i.e. giving you goals that are higher and will take longer to achieve, it makes you picture how powerful you could become and makes you want to chase that. Also, because a lot of that content isn't as time gated as before, we're less restricted in our access to that power. And Legion has given us so much stuff to chase after. You've got the artifact power to chase, and also the RNG nature of the loot drops means that it removes the restriction to gain access to loot, but you have to play longer to get it. And on top of that, Suramar gives you another means of controlling the way you get your gear, but that also has a long tail to it. So in summary, Legion has a deadly combination of achievable goals together with giving the player a lot of control through variation of content, and all this is a great combination for an MMO player who's always chasing after a better future self. So I don't want to be too negative because I don't want to spoil people's experiences of the game, but I do want to just prompt you on what people might start saying once they get to endgame and have been there for a bit. So it's basically the Missa Pandaria problem. So in Missa Pandaria, people were basically claiming that there was too much content. They would say that the dailies took too much time and so they didn't have enough time for their alts. Also that the legendary quest meant that their alts could never be meaningfully powerful. And these systems sort of mirror the world quest system and artifact power system. Overall, I think Blizzard has made the conscious decision to have too much content rather than not enough content. And I think that's because the complaint that you have too much content isn't that you're going to leave the game because you're bored because there's too much content. You're saying that you're stressed out because you want to be the best and there's too much to do. And I don't think people quit because of that. And I think Blizzard knows that too. One of the things people have been talking about as well is why does this expansion seem so much better than Warlords of Draenor, for example? One of the theories that Scott Johnson from The Instance actually put out there was that Ian Hazacostas is one of the key reasons this expansion's been so much better so far. For those of you who don't know, he's the developer from Blizzard who I think he has the title of lead content developer, and he's been doing most of the interviews with the community at events like Gamescom and stuff like that. And just from the way he answers questions and the way he just talks about WoW, he really knows his stuff, and I could definitely believe that he is sort of the mastermind behind this expansion, but we can't know. So anyway, as far as my week's gone, I've been playing a lot of Legion. I managed to get to 88, which is quite a lot for me. I didn't book any holidays, which I severely regret, and I'm hoping to get to 100 by the end of the day, and I'm having the best time ever. So I hope you all enjoyed this little update. I hope you're all enjoying Legion as much as I am, and as always, please like, comment and subscribe if you feel like being a kind person, and hope to see you next time.